Up next, we have Chris and Jarrett from the Michigan Coalition Against Tar Sands.
Somebody want to give me a hand here?
Thank you, everybody. This is tar sand. This was recovered from the Kalamazoo River. This is a river I grew up 1 football field away from. This is a river we have chemicals in. Big word, sorry, small town guy. We know people who are hurt by tar sands. We know people who are no longer here because of tar sands in Kalamazoo. We have a river destroyed because of tar sands. Because of what happened in Kalamazoo, the largest inland oil spill in U.S. history. Because of the tar sand refineries that are happening in Detroit and Chicago. Because of Line 5 that threatens 20 to 30% of the entire world's fresh water supply. Because of this, people who tried to go through government, who tried to do and take every step they could, were turned away. So the people in Michigan started turning to each other. We formed the Michigan Coalition of Tar Sands. And last summer we started taking action for the community. One of our biggest actions last summer were 3 women that locked down.
No.
That's all right, I don't need it, I can yell. Last summer, 3 women. Vicki Hamlin, she became a great-grandmother.
Dude, you're stepping on the mic.
Oh. Small town guy, a lot of technology. I'm gonna bring that back. Vicki Hamlin. Vicki, I'm yelling.
Yeah, you got it. He's good with the voice. He's good with the voice.
Let him yell.
Vicki Hamlin became a great-grandmother on the beginning of the trial for them. Lisa Laggio became a grandmother February 6th. Barb Carter, whose lungs hurt when she left her building because she was 3 miles away from a refinery, had trouble breathing. These women locked up in a necessity defense to save the people of Michigan. On July 31st, they were found guilty. They're sitting in jail right now, even though they were out on bond, even though they were not a flight risk, they were incarcerated. They're sitting in jail until March 5th, where they could be sentenced up to 2 to 3 years for peaceful protest. Despite what could happen to them, they stood up to authority every single time. From the MyCat 3 and from Michigan, we want to bring a message to you students. We want to let you know how important what you are is doing. We want you to know the sick people in Michigan, the sick people up in Canada, the sick people down in New Orleans, the sick people out in Arkansas. We're looking to you. Regardless of who the president is, the power is not in that building. It's out here. So that wrapping up there, I wanted to let you guys know how important that is. I want you guys to know it's you that make the change in this world. I want you to know what you're doing is solidifying this movement for people standing together, saying we will be the change and we will make it happen. Thank you.
Yes, we can. Okay, you guys, quick housekeeping. There's lots of cops around here, and they're really nervous about everyone's stuff that's under trees and the bikes. If you have a bike, it needs to be with you on your person. If you got bags, you need to be holding it, or they're going to remove us all from the park. So please, go get your stuff, hold on to it, hold on to your bikes. If you leave it, they're going to think it's something bad and get rid of everybody here. So if you could cooperate, thanks.
All right.
Awesome. Up next, we have Kids Against Fracking. Where are you guys?
How you guys doing today? My name is Emma Bray, and I'm a 14-year-old youth activist. I came all the way from Denver, Colorado to share my message and joining this movement to stop this destructive pipeline from happening. If this pipeline is built, it will cut through the center of the United States, contaminating aquifers and destroying ecosystems.
Save Oklahoma! Save Oklahoma!
And that is why we're here today. Each and every person here has the power to stop this pipeline. It's amazing to be a part of a movement where so many passionate youth is involved. Was anyone else at PowerShift 2013? Like PowerShift, this movement goes to show the power of youth have to change the world. We owe it to the future generations to find solutions to the issues created by previous generations. We are the people who don't want to give up, even though when other people say that the situation is hopeless. Our generation has the power to change the world. Together we can do this. I now want to introduce my close friend, Francesca. We have traveled all around the country to spread the voice of youth. Give it up for Francesca.
We had another round of applause for Emma Bray from Kids Against Fracking. All right, so everybody sounds pretty excited today. Is everybody pretty excited? That's right. And so, you know, a lot of people think that the power in this world, the power to make a difference, the power to change the world comes from political leaders, from presidents, from congressmen, but they're wrong. Because the power comes from the people. The power comes from us. Every single person in this audience has that power. So my name is Shuta Scott Martinez. I'm a 13-year-old indigenous activist from Boulder, Colorado. I'm working with an organization called Earth Guardians, and it's a group of committed youth that are working to stand up for the survival of their generation and every generation to come. We have Earth Guardian chapters on 5 continents that are fighting to protect their air, their water, the atmosphere, and the kind of world that they're going to be left with. So that's why we're here. Because the tar sands is one of the greatest issues that we have ever faced as a society, as a human race on this planet. Because the tar sands is the most destructive way of extracting fossil fuels on the planet right now. Jim Hansen, he's a climate scientist that worked for NASA. He's an incredible person. He says that if we continue to drill the tar sands, it'll be game over for the climate. And if it's game over for the climate, it's game over for the planet, and it's game over for the people. But we're not going to let that happen. So, it's awesome being back here in DC with all you incredible activists, all you incredible change agents. And so, you know, I was at PowerShift, I spoke there at the rally. And when I come to places like this, when I see the youth arising, when I see the youth taking the lead in these movements, when I see the youth putting aside everything that society has told us we can't, we're not good enough, we're too young, we cannot make a difference, but we are proving them wrong right here, right now, because we have the power. But it can't stop here. This is not only the beginning, but this is a continuation of a movement. People are on the rise all over the planet. The indigenous people of Canada. They started a movement against the tar sands because their home, their indigenous tribal land was being attacked by this industry that said that, you know, who cares what happens to you? We're going to make big money, so that's all that's really important. And so we have indigenous movements all over the world. We have movements of the people. We have movements of the youth that are rising up to combat these issues because we know that not only tar sands, not only KXL, but right now we are in a global crisis. Every living system on this planet is in decline. Oceans are being acidified, forests are collapsing, species are disappearing, and people are still sitting idly by, but not us. So if this human race caused the greatest problem we have ever seen in any lifetime, then this human race and this generation can stop it. Thank you.
Damn straight.
Hello. Hi, just wanted Secret Services reiterating that we need to get the bags away from the trees or wherever you've left them. Please keep them on your person, otherwise we're going to get kicked out.
Get your bags.
Get your bags, please.
Get your bags. 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 Get your bags.
You don't hear me?
No.
No. Try it now. Maybe.
All right.
Hey!
Hey, let's give it up again for Sutescat, huh? Amazing. So real quickly, my name is Jared Schloff. I'm here with the MyCats as well as with 350.org. I'm here today.
Yes.
We're gonna take a powerful moment where you heard about the MyCats 3 from Chris. Today, there's an opportunity for all of you to stand strong with the MyCats 3. We're gonna take a powerful photo tomorrow. 60,000 petition signatures will be dropped at the doorstep of the judge who's sentencing the MyCats 3 on Wednesday. Those 60,000 signatures from across the country, on top of that petition, of those 60,000 petitions, will be a picture of all of you standing in the crowd with the very front that we stand with the MyCats 3. All of you are having the opportunity to do this, to be a part of this moment in time. It's gonna be a very powerful thing. So we're gonna do a call and response as we take this picture, as we show the judge that we are all standing strong in this movement. So we're doing a little call and response as we take this picture with this in the front to show our support. So repeat after me. We stand. We stand. We stand with. We stand with. We stand with the MyCats 3. 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 Let me hear you roar. This is what love looks like, people. This is what love looks like. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
That's
Up next, we have a very close friend of mine, Ben Thompson from...
Documenting for my cats. I need to get that shot.
All right, up next we have Ben Thompson from Students for a Just and Stable Future from Massachusetts and New England.
How's it going? How's it going, everybody?
Yeah. We can hear you.
Microphone's up there too if you need it. Or your phone. I got a phone.
Megaphone. Massachusetts.
Planet Earth! Hey everybody! Last summer President Obama told us how much he cares about climate change, how much he cares about our generation. Yet he has still not rejected the Keystone Pipeline. Mr. President, if you should choose to approve it, I have one request for you. I want you to imagine that it's your future being wasted. I want you to imagine that it's your farm being taken, and I want you to imagine that it is your tribe being poisoned. And then, Mr. President, I want you to tell us that American ingenuity has run dry, that there is no other way, that we could not instead build those jobs with wind farms, that we could not instead fill our cities with buses and subways and bike lanes. And then, Mr. President, I want you to tell us again how much it is you care about us and how much we should care about you. California continues to suffer in the grip of a terrible drought that will affect global food prices. Thank you. That will affect global food prices. But what pinches our pockets will stab those who make $2 a day and spend 80% of their income on food. For them, this drought is so much more than a simple reminder of what is to come as climate change worsens. And that brings me here today. My least favorite part about today is the knowledge of the distress that I am causing my parents. The conversations I have had with them about my getting arrested are the hardest conversations I have ever had. But let me tell you, there are harder conversations. Because tonight, around this globe, mothers and fathers will sit their children down to empty tables as they struggle to explain why that is and what that means. Climate change provides a grave challenge to everyone, but to us trying to stop it, it provides an unprecedented challenge. But with that challenge comes an opportunity to redefine our society and to define ourselves. Today, we get the opportunity to decide if we are people who do what is easy or do what is right. Today we decide if...
It's all right. It's okay.
Great smile. Keep it up.
Oh yeah, paper too.
You're doing great.
Right. And we also have the opportunity today to show the world how much we can love. Our activism is a series of acts of love. Today, in love, we will stop the Keystone Pipeline. Tomorrow, in love, we will divest. And then we will take our movement to Congress, where we will ask for the legislation that says that one day, years from today, we might sit our children down to tables which are full, as we take great joy in telling them this story that we are starting to write here today. And let each step in that story be taken with love, because we could take those steps in anger or fear or hatred, but let us choose love. Love which empowers us. Love which sustains us. Love which sustains us. And when we need to draw on our resolve to take those steps, think of who you take that step for, and in your heart say, I love you. As you lock yourself to that fence, I love you. As you start your homework at 3 a.m. because you were working on divestment, I love you. As you stick your neck out and stand to disrupt an event, I love you. As you take each step, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Inspiring as always, man. And last but not least, we have Hannah Bristol. Hannah is a DC area native, and she has taken a semester off from Middlebury College to work as a field organizer on the Obama campaign in New Hampshire. Give it up.
Hello, and welcome to my hometown. I grew up in Northern Virginia, just 10 minutes away from here. Politics are regular dinner time conversation. I've had favorite senators as long as I can remember, and I've marked the passage of time with presidential elections. I started working on political campaigns when I was 14, and when a young junior senator from Illinois started making waves in 2007, I eagerly hopped on his campaign, making calls, knocking on doors, helping him win the nomination and win the presidency.
All right.
Around this time, I became increasingly aware of the environmental inequalities that plague this city. As I wondered why the Anacostia River was so polluted while the Potomac River had been cleaned.
Yes.
As I wondered why I had grown up exploring pools and rivers in the area while the custodian in my dad's office had never learned to swim. I came to realize the disproportionate burden of climate change, from the damage from Hurricane Katrina to the droughts in East Africa, to the Maldives. My comfortable suburban life, the 2.3 kids, the big backyard, the station wagon, it was causing a carbon footprint that was disproportionately affecting others. Others were paying the price for my life. I attended KXL rallies like this one, believing that Obama would make the right decision with just a little more time, with just an extra push. I knew a President Romney wouldn't think twice before approving the KXL pipeline. I believed that with another chance, President Obama would make the right decision. I believed he would make this the moment when the rise of our oceans began to slow and our planet began to heal. So in 2012, I took a semester off from college and moved to Derry, New Hampshire. For 6 months, I told folks this very story, that I wanted climate justice and I believed that President Obama was our best chance for national action. I worked long hours 7 days a week, making calls, knocking on doors, and building teams of people who believed and would do anything to keep the White House in responsible hands. From late nights finishing conference calls only to stay up all night making packets, to early mornings distributing tickets so others would have the opportunity to be inspired by our president, I was all in. I was all in because I wanted a president who took these threats to our future seriously. But now I'm not convinced. President Obama, you promised this summer not to condemn my generation to a planet beyond fixing. You promised not to approve Keystone if it would exacerbate the climate problem. You said we don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society, but equally laughable is the idea that extracting the tar sands wouldn't exacerbate the climate problem. Every step of the way, Keystone is an environmental disaster. From the First Nations communities whose cancer rates are rising as their land is being destroyed, to the communities along the pipeline who are living in constant fear of spills, to the refinery towns where low-income folks and people of color are disproportionately affected by the health problems caused by this dirty process. And it is not just people on the front lines. James Hansen said that Keystone would be game over for the planet. To me, this sounds like an awful lot of reasons why Keystone would exacerbate the climate problem. President Obama, we ask you to listen to the people power that propelled you into office in 2008 and again in 2012. To the youth who knocked on doors, who made phone calls, who organized their communities and showed up to the polls in record numbers because you were the change we could believe in. Because we had hope. Because you were moving us forward. Forward to a world where we were leaving behind the dirty energies of the past to say, yes, we can, to justice and opportunity. Yes, we can, to opportunity and prosperity. Yes, we can heal this nation. Yes, we can repair this world. Yes, we can stop the pipeline. President Obama, we voted you in for change. Climate change isn't what we were looking for. Reject the Keystone Pipeline.